will Jimmy Olsen be in the movie? Which is a fair question, because when it comes to Superman, one of the most relatable characters in the comics, in the lore, is Jimmy Olsen. He is us. Jimmy Olsen is us in the Superman comics. So one thing that people don't understand is one of the reasons why the comics work so much better than these movies have, because I'm not saying the movie's bad. I love Man of Steel. Man of Steel is my favorite superhero film. But it's difficult to write Superman, and people find it difficult to write Superman because they don't think that people can relate to Superman. And that's the problem that everybody has. And that was a big difference in Man of Steel, because Zack Snyder with Christopher Nolan and David Goyer, they created a Superman that you could relate to. However, that wasn't your typical Superman. That wasn't your Superman who would be in every comic book and every TV show. Because Superman, Clark Kent, had a sidekick of sorts. He wasn't a sidekick in the same sense as Robin, in the same sense as Speedy. No, he was a sidekick that humanized Clark, that humanized Superman, who was us. Jimmy Olsen is us, the readers, the viewers, the ones who are inspired and awestruck by this god of a being. So it's not out of the question, will Jimmy Olsen be in this movie? We didn't get him in the Snyderverse because they went a different direction with Superman in that one. They made it where he was the one that you could connect with. But with us going in a different direction with Superman and Superman Legacy, this is a great question. And obviously, James Gunn answers OFC. Of course. Of course you're going to get Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy Olsen is a staple. He is a staple of Superman lore. Again, he is the viewers, the readers. He is our gateway into that world. That is who Jimmy Olsen is. And that's why it's so important to have him in this movie. Again, it's not bad that he wasn't in the Snyderverse. They found another way around it. There's a lot of people discussing and fighting with this idea that you don't need Jimmy Olsen because Snyder didn't have Jimmy Olsen. Well, no, it's a different iteration. It's a different take. He's an important character to draw the audience in, to have a connection with the audience. That's why, I take a look at this show, Smallville, for instance. Through that run, while they did kind of humanize Clark, I mean, Tom Welling was fantastic on that show, found a way to humanize him and see the teenage struggles that you could relate to as a human being. But the connection wasn't always through Clark. The connection was through his friend Pete, or Chloe, eventually Jimmy, even Oliver Queen at some point, through Lana, through Lois. Your connection to that world are the supporting characters around Superman. And I think that is what James is going to be. I think that's what he's going to do here. I hope so. I think it's a great way to handle the character. It's a great entry point for us as viewers. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope it works out that way. I do. I hope it works out that way.